Credit cards. If you're like me, you probably grew up with the impression that credit cards are bad and that you should never get one. I'm just here to tell you that's just not true. There's lots of good benefits of having a credit card. They give you purchase protection, they help build your credit and give you better interest rates on maybe a mortgage for a rental, and they also give you cash back, points, and air miles for travel. It's like getting free money, and who doesn't like getting free money? But that being said, it's not to be abused. It's not an emergency fund. It's not something that you just, oh, I have $1,000 credit limit, I'm gonna go out and just buy a TV even though I can't pay it back at the end of the month. This is something you wanna be able to pay off at the end of each month so you carry no balance, pay no interest, and it can help build your credit for the future, which is what you're wanting to do. Lately, I've had a lot of people ask me, hey, John, do you know anything about credit cards? What's a good credit card I should get? So I did a lot of research and I'm about to share with you the top 5 credit cards you might want to consider if you're just getting a credit card. So here we go. Starting off in the number 1 spot, I have the Discover It Cashback Card. There's no annual fees, there's no APR for the first 14 months, and you get 5% cash back on groceries, restaurants, gas, and online purchases, and 1% back on anything else. And for the first year, they'll match your cash back. Next, if you're a student, I suggest the Discover It Student Cashback Card, which is actually the first card I got about a year and a half ago. This basically has the same benefits as the Discover It Cashback Card, except if you're a student and you have a GPA of a 3.0 or higher, you can get a $20 credit each year for 5 years. The only twist to this one is that you have 0% APR for 6 months instead of 14. The big downfall of Discover is that there's less acceptance, especially outside the US. Like I said, I've had this card for about a year and a half. The only issue that I had was not being able to use it when I traveled overseas. But thankfully, I had another credit card that I could use. Coming in at number 3, I have the Bank of America Cash Rewards Card for students. There's no annual fees, there's no APR for 15 months. You get 3% cash back in a category of your choice, you get 2% cash back on groceries, and you get 1% cash back on anything else. The only downside to this is that there's a 3% foreign transaction fee. So if you travel outside of the country often, this might not be the best card for you. The good thing about signing up with this card is that if you spend $1,000 in the first 3 months, you get a $200 bonus. Now, when you see something like that, that doesn't mean you have to go spend $1,000 immediately just to get the $200. You would be surprised on how quick you can spend $1,000 in a month just on regular purchases like gas, groceries, and even your rent if you can put that on there. So don't worry. Number 4, I have the Chase Freedom Card. The Chase Freedom Card has no annual fee, no APR for 15 months. You get 5% cash back on select categories and 1% cash back on anything else. The only downside to this is that there's a 3% foreign transaction fee just like the Bank of America card. Also, if you sign up with this card and spend $500 in the first 3 months, you get a $200 credit on your statement. This card is also partnered up with DoorDash, which you get a complimentary 3 months of the Dash Pass. I don't use DoorDash, but I know a lot of my friends do, and so it might benefit them. Also, they have partnered with Lyft and give you 5% cash back on any Lyft purchases. And number 5, I have the Apple Card. The Apple Card was something that I thought might have been, just like Apple, kind of overhyped and just trying to be a thing that you should get just to have. But then I did some research on it, and it's actually not a bad card. You get 3% cash back on all Apple products and 2% cash back daily on the rest of your purchases. But the great thing about this card is that there's no fees, which is one of their big selling points. There's also another feature of this card, which I think is probably the most beneficial, and I think a lot of people will get a lot of benefit out of. Wow, I said a lot. Anyways, when you get this card, you can log on to the app and it'll show you everything that you spend money on and categorize all your spending. I think this is great for people who just go out, swipe their card, and don't think about it until they get the statement in the mail. You can actively see how much you're spending on categories. You can set up budgets. You can see where you're spending the most money, where you're spending the least money, and give you a better understanding of what you're spending money on. Those are my top 5 cards. Now, if you didn't follow along, one of the main things that they all had in common is that there were no annual fees. This is important. Having your first card have no annual fees will help you. When it comes to your credit score, one of the big factors that plays into your credit score is your length of history. Now, if you get a credit card when you're 18 years old and you want to get a mortgage at age 25, that'll help you significantly more than if you just got a credit card at 22, 23, and then tried to get a mortgage at 25. Because when they calculate your credit score, they take the average length of your credit history. Now, if you get a credit card and then get another credit card 2 years later, the average length of that would be 1 year. year. Also, no annual fees are good for young people because for most young people, you aren't spending enough money to get the cash back to be equal or greater than the annual fee. If you have an annual fee of $95 and your total cash back for the year was $70, you just wasted $25. And so it wouldn't even be worth it. This will apply a lot to travel cards because a lot of travel cards will require an annual fee. There are some travel cards that don't require an annual fee, but the benefits on it just aren't as good. Now, when it comes to credit cards, don't get caught up in the rewards. A lot of the cards that I mentioned require little to no credit history, so you can get these cards pretty easy. There are other cards with better benefits, but those require a higher credit score. Cards like the Capital One Venture, or the American Express Blue Cash Every Day, or the Citi American Advantage Platinum Select World Elite MasterCard. I had to have a credit score of 760 to get this card, plus there's an annual fee of $95, but the benefits are good. Just the sign-up bonus alone got me 50,000 air miles just for spending $3,000 in 3 months. Now, at the time, this was easy because I was throwing a lot of my business expenses onto this card. It also gave me double protection on any of my purchases, but it gave me 2 times the air miles for gas, restaurants, and American Airlines purchases. I don't really use this card a whole lot. I just throw like my gas on it, or if something breaks in my rental house and I have to go buy something, I'll throw it on there. Another card that I have is the Home Depot card. There's really no benefit to having this card. I was just buying appliances for my rental house, and I could get $100 off if I signed up for it and get 0% interest for 6 months. But really, that's about it. As you can see, there's lots of good benefits to having a credit card, but you have to be financially responsible in order to get one. If you aren't going to be financially responsible, I would say stay away from credit cards until you get responsible. If you're unsure about a credit card, maybe just get one and use it like a debit card. As soon as you spend something on it, immediately pay it back. That way you don't even have to worry about it. I know people that just put gas on their credit card. They don't put anything else on it. They go out to eat, they're using cash or their debit card, which is totally cool. It's totally fine. It's just personal preference. Getting a credit card is something that I think everybody should consider to help build their credit score. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like it. If you're new to the channel, go subscribe. My goal is to be at 100 subscribers by the end of August. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.